Pacific Rim Uprising is the sequel to Pacific Rim. This one, however, not directed by Guillermo del Toro. This one is directed by... Shit, what the fuck is his name? Steven S. DeKnight. I'm probably butchering that, but he directed this movie. Now, this was a movie that I was really excited for going into this year. Pacific Rim, which came out in 2013, was one of my favorite movies of 2013. It's some of the most fun I've had in a movie in recent years. I really love this Blu-ray case for it, too. It's a hologram. I don't know if you can really see it in the camera, but it's pretty awesome. Point is, although the original Pacific Rim had a very simple premise, it was a really fun one. Let's just have a bunch of giant robots fight these big alien monsters. And you know what it was? It was fucking awesome. And naturally, when a movie like that is as awesome as it is as fun as it is, it usually does lead to a sequel eventually being made. Now a sequel has been made, and now I'm going to talk about it, because that's what I do on my channel. So this movie takes place about 10 years after the events from Pacific Rim happened. The breaches remained closed. The world has been in relative peace for the most part. The main character in this movie is John Boyega. He's the son of Idris Elba's character from the first movie, and he was someone who was in training to become a Jaeger pilot, but you know, he just kind of fell out of that, didn't really want to be a part of it, you know, didn't want to live up to his potential. Lately, he's just been selling broken Jaeger parts on the black market to get a little extra money. Along the way, he runs to this young girl named Amara. We discovered that Amara has been able to build her own small Jaeger that she can pilot on her own, but that's illegal. So eventually, she and Jake both get arrested, and they're brought to the Jaeger program to essentially be enlisted. We discover here that Mako, you know, the character from the first movie, she's been really trying to push these new recruits to really make this new Jaeger program work, because we discover that a Chinese company has been making these remote piloted Jaegers to be the new line of defense that have been developed by Charlie Sheen's character. Wait, Charlie Sheen, that's not it. Charlie Day. That's who I meant. Essentially, they're going to start running things now, which is going to put Jaeger pilots just out of business. Gotta be honest, though, this right here was already where I was starting to question this movie a little bit. Because really, at this point, we really haven't gotten an answer why the Jaegers are really still a thing anymore. I mean, the Kaiju have been defeated, the breach has been sealed, the world has basically had 10 years of peace. Like, why are the Jaegers still active? Why are we still building new Jaegers? Just... It really didn't make sense to me. I mean, you could argue they're preparing for the Kaiju potentially coming back, or maybe some other big threat happening, but they don't give you a definitive reason why, and that bothered me. Later on, though, Sydney, Australia is attacked by a rogue Jaeger that's just, you know, causing havoc and destroying shit. Eventually leads to Mako getting killed. Gotta touch on that, too, for a second. When Mako died in this movie, I didn't really feel it. I mean, harkening back to the role she played in Pacific Rim, you know, what she did in Pacific Rim, I will say, if she had died in that movie because of what they did with her character, how they developed her character, I definitely would have felt something. I probably would have even teared up a little bit. Here, because she's just in this movie for the sake of being in this movie, when she dies, I'm just like... Nope, nothing. Movie just didn't handle it very well, that's all I can say. Later on, Jake and this other Jaeger pilot named Nate, they both work together. They, you know, go into the Gypsy Avenger Jaeger, which is based off of Gypsy Danger from the first movie. They go to investigate the rogue Jaeger, they battle it, they defeat it, and they discover in its head, it's piloted by a Kaiju brain. And soon after that happens, we see that the Asian company who is producing the remote-controlled Jaegers, their Jaegers, they start wreaking havoc among the world because their brains are also operated by Kaiju brains. Their system is operated by Kaiju brains. That's what I meant to say. So people start approaching Charlie Day because he's the one who built these Jaegers. He's the one who was behind it. And, you know, they start asking, like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'll tell you what's going on. I'm destroying the world. And right here is where the movie did something with Charlie Day's character that I absolutely hated. We discovered that Charlie Day has been continuously drifting with Kaiju brains because that gives him like a really awesome trip. It's basically become like a drug for him. But it's allowed the precursors who come from the Kaiju realm, it's allowed them to basically take over his mind, basically use him as a puppet, and they're having him, you know, do their doing. This allows the remote-controlled Jaegers to reopen the breach so the Kaiju can escape again. Thankfully, though, the Asian company is able to activate the self-destruct sequence in these Jaegers, but not before 3 Kaiju are able to escape. Now they're going to make a run for the volcano that's near the Ring of Fire, the Pacific Ring of Fire. They do that. and you know, the entire world is gonna be terraformed. Now the reason I hated they did this with Charlie Day's character is because Charlie Day played such a pivotal role in the first Pacific Rim in figuring out what the Kaiju's plan was, you know, helping them stop the breach, you know, stop the invasion, basically help save the world. And I really liked him in that movie. You know, he was a really smart character, he was funny, good comic relief. I liked how he has that, not really obsession with Kaiju, but he has that interest in Kaiju. In this one, they just decided to make him someone who was really that obsessed with Kaijus, and he became taken over by them and became essentially the main villain of this movie. It, for me, completely destroys what his character was in the first Pacific Rim movie, and I just can't take Charlie Day seriously as a villain because he's Charlie fucking Day. So now at this point, we get a big final battle. You know, Jake gives this big promising speech to the young cadets, which consists of Amara and a bunch of these other kids who are now going to be piloting the other Jaegers. They're just like, this is our chance to make a difference. We're going to go fight. We're going to save the world. We're going to be badasses. Let's get shit done. I mean, it was a nice speech for what it was. It's definitely not on the same level as Idris Elba's "We are canceling the apocalypse" speech from the first Pacific Rim, but I don't know, it was fitting for him anyway. So yeah, the 4 Jaegers get dropped into the city. They go to take on the 3 Kaiju, and now we have a big showdown. And I'll say, this showdown, for what it was, this right here was entertaining. I did enjoy this for what it was, but that's the thing. We've seen the Kaiju and the Jaegers fight before in the first Pacific Rim. That was something new, it was special, it was exciting, it was entertaining. Here, you see it happen again, and you feel a little bit of that sequelitis. You're just like, yeah, I mean, this is cool, but it's been done. Eventually it reaches a point, you know, they're all able to defeat the Kaiju, but it turns out Charlie Day is kind of doing something with the Kaiju. He like sends these like, I don't know, these little microbot symbiote things to go in, repair the Kaiju, and then merge all their remains into one big super Kaiju. So yeah, now the Kaiju on steroids starts fucking up all the other Jaegers, you know, it destroys all but one of them, which, yeah, you guess it, is Gypsy Avenger. Unfortunately though, Nate gets really injured, so we can't pilot that anymore, so now Amara steps in to take his place, so you know, she and Jake, they have to be drift compatible with each other, which they struggled with earlier, but now they can because, you know, character development and growth and all that good shit. They quickly realize the only shot they have to destroy the Kaiju is Gypsy Avenger has to rocket itself way up into the atmosphere and then just come down full speed, you know, with basically everything it has going after the Kaiju and just, you know, with the atmosphere, you know, helping it heat up, you know, burn up with all that extra speed and everything. If it can impact with the Kaiju, you know, it'll kill it. It'll definitely kill it. So, you know, Jake and Amara, they start doing that. They're able to eject themselves from the Jaeger, and they collide with the Kaiju just before it can get into the volcano. And yeah, the thing's dead, and now the world's saved, and Charlie Day gets taken into custody. And then we do get a little post-credit scene where we see Jake interrogating Charlie Day, and Charlie Day with, you know, the precursor still controlling him. He's like, oh, you can't stop us. We're gonna come back. You know, we're gonna destroy the Earth. And Jake's like, no, we're coming to you. So I'm thinking, oh, a third one's gonna happen. Of course it's going to. So yeah, all in all, I gotta be honest, Pacific Rim Uprising, it really disappointed me. John Boyega was really good in this movie. I liked seeing how his character was, how he was someone who didn't feel he belonged in the program and then kind of developed himself into this leader. I really wanted to see John Boyega in something outside of Star Wars, and I'm glad to see he kicked ass in this movie. The action in this movie, when it does happen, it is entertaining, it is fun, but it's definitely not as much fun or as unique or as awesome as the first Pacific Rim was. The kid actors in this movie, like the one who played Amara and the other cadets, they weren't the best actors, and 2, I really didn't give a shit about them. The Kaiju really aren't in this movie for as much as you want them to be. I mean, really, the Kaiju really don't play a role in this movie until the very last act of this movie. That doesn't make sense for me. The role that the Kaiju played in the first Pacific Rim was a very big one, you know. They were at war with the Jaegers. We got a lot of really cool fights with the Jaegers and the Kaiju, a few really big ones anyway. And even still in the first Pacific Rim, you always felt the Kaiju's presence. You always felt they were a threat. Here, they really don't play a role until the final act of this movie. I absolutely hated what they did with Charlie Day's character. It completely destroys everything he was in the first movie. I didn't buy him at all as a villain. I didn't like him as a villain. And in the end, as much fun as the first Pacific Rim was, I'm starting to think I should have just stopped at one movie. Now before I go, just want to let you guys know something really quick. I'm going to be going on vacation later on this week, so I won't be able to see Ready Player One until I get back. I do have plans on seeing it. I will get a video up for it when I do get back, but that does give you a little extra time to see it, so if you intend to see it, and you're still going to want to see my spoiler talk for it, you got some extra time for you. But for now, that's all I gotta say. So guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.